Energy producers and consumers. What are primary producers? Primary producers are the first producers of energy-rich compounds that are later used by other organisms. Organisms need energy for growth, reproduction, metabolic processes. No organism can create energy. It can only use energy from other sources. For most life on Earth, sunlight is the primary energy source. A few other organisms use chemical energy stored in inorganic chemical compounds as the energy source for life processes. Plants, algae, and certain bacteria can capture energy from sunlight or chemicals and convert it into forms that living cells can use. These organisms are called autotrophs. Autotrophs are also called primary producers. Primary producers store energy in forms that make it available to other organisms that eat them and are therefore essential for the flow of energy through the biosphere. For example, plants obtain energy from sunlight and turn it into nutrients that can be eaten and used for energy by animals such as a caterpillar or fish. The best known and the most common primary producers harness solar energy through the process of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis captures light energy and uses it to power chemical reactions that convert carbon dioxide and water into oxygen and energy-rich carbohydrates. This process adds oxygen to the atmosphere and removes carbon dioxide. Plants are the main photosynthetic producers on land. Algae fill the role in freshwater ecosystems and in the sunlit upper ocean. Photosynthetic bacteria, most commonly cyanobacteria, are important primary producers in tidal flats and salt marshes. Examples of photosynthetic producers are trees and lily pads. And life also thrives in ecosystems around volcanic vents, in total darkness, on the deep ocean floor. They harness chemical energy, not light energy. Deep sea ecosystems depend on primary producers that harness chemical energy from inorganic molecules such as hydrogen sulfide. The use of chemical energy to produce carbohydrates is called chemosynthesis. Biologists have discovered thriving ecosystems around volcanic vents and total darkness in the deep ocean floor. So the bacterial cells, they take hydrogen sulfide and oxygen and they combine it, forming sulfur compounds. With that chemical energy, the cells make carbohydrates using carbon dioxide from the seawater. This is chemosynthesis in sulfur bacteria, not photosynthesis, not light. So how do consumers obtain energy and nutrients? Consumers rely on other organisms for energy and nutrients. Organisms that must acquire energy from other organisms by ingesting other organisms are known as heterotrophs. Heterotrophs are also called consumers. Consumers are classified by the ways in which they acquire energy and nutrients. Carnivores kill and eat other animals. Carnivores include snakes, dogs, bears, cats, spiders, some ant species, and many, many more. Catching and killing prey can be difficult and requires energy, but meat is rich in nutrients and energy and is easy to digest. Scavengers, like this king vulture, are animals that consume the carcasses of other animals that have been killed by predators or have died from other causes. Decomposers, such as bacteria and fungi, they feed by chemically breaking down organic matter. The decay caused by decomposers is part of the process that produces detritus, small pieces of dead and decaying plant and animal remains. Detritivores, like giant earthworms, feed on detritus particles, often chewing and grinding them into smaller pieces. Detritivores commonly digest decomposers that live on and in detritus particles. Herbivores, such as a military macaque, obtain energy and nutrients by eating plant leaves, roots, seeds, and fruits. Common herbivores include cows, caterpillars, deer. Omnivores are animals whose diets naturally include a variety of different foods that usually include both plants and animals. Humans, bears, and pigs are omnivores. So the feeding methods can be diagrammed here with autotrophs and heterotrophs. Autotrophs, organisms which produce their own food from organic molecules. They're also called producers. Photoautotrophs receive their energy from sunlight. And chemoautotrophs receiving their energy from chemicals in the deep sea, commonly, or volcanic releases. And heterotrophs, their source of energy is from other living organisms. And there's two divisions on there, the consumers and the decomposers. Consumers either eat the producers or they're secondary consumers eating other consumers, whether dead or alive. Decomposers, they ate the dead matter. Detritivores ingest non-living organic matter. Those are the earthworms, woodlice. And saprotrophs, they live on non-living organic matter, secreting digestive enzymes into it and absorb digested products. And that is bacteria and fungi. Categorizing consumers is important, but these simple categories often don't express the real complexity of nature. For example, herbivores that eat different plant parts often differ greatly in the ways they obtain and digest their food. In addition, organisms in nature often do not stay inside the categories we put them in. For example, some carnivores will scavenge if they get a chance. Many aquatic animals eat a mixture of algae, bits of animal carcasses, and detritus particles. It is important to expand upon consumer categories by discussing the way that energy and nutrients move through ecosystems.